What's keeping you preoccupied? I got a telegram from the home which stated that my mother died. I wish to take the remaining days beside my mother.
What? I cannot allow you. We have a lot of things to do. We have projects, we have deadlines.
Sorry, ma'am. It's not meant to be.
There's no one like your mother, sir. Here you go, sir. I'll see you around.
Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow.
It's good to see you here, sir. Madame Result entered here 3 years ago. She had no private needs. She only depends on you. There's no need to excuse yourself, my boy. I've looked up the record, and obviously you weren't in the position to see that she was taken care for. She needed someone to be with her all the time, and young men in your jobs like you don't get much pay. In my case, she was happier in the home.
Yes, I'm sure of that.
She had friends here, like old folks like herself, and one gets on better with people of one's own
Now I
generation.
suppose you'd like to see your
You're much
mother.
too young. You couldn't
We have
been
moved
much
the
of a
urn to
companion
the
to
little
her.
mortuary, so as not to upset the other old people, you understand. Every time there is a death here, there is a nervous state for 2 to 3 days, which means extra effort for all of us. If you want If you want anything, you'll find me in my office. We propose to have the last day tomorrow morning that will enable you to spend the whole night with your mother. And one more thing. We've gathered information from your mother's friends that she wishes to have the rights of the church. I've made the arrangements, but I just want to let you know.
Sabrina goes to Frida. She said, Frida, why don't you complete your web? You will have your very own web.
Here's Thomas Perry. We put the lid on, but I was asked to remove it just so you can get a few of your mother's ashes. No need. No need? Why not? You don't want me to...
No.
Why?
Well, really, I couldn't say.
I understand. It's a tumor that she has. Poor thing. Do you wish to take your dinner, sir?
I'm actually not hungry, but thank you for the offer.
How about some coffee? That will help you gain your energy throughout the night.
Thanks. Join me over coffee and, do you smoke? I'm not actually sure if I should smoke in front of my mother, but it doesn't matter anyway.
since he and your mother had been quite inseparable before.
The old people used to tease me when I will marry your mother. Then, we'd both laugh. That was a standing joke. In fact, it was really painful for me to lose your mother.
I could see it in your eyes.
It was the first day of Marsault without his mother. A lot of things came across his mind. His mother's death, his life after the incident, though it didn't affect him that much, and his work. He suddenly remembered why his employer acted that way when he asked for 2 days off. It's a Saturday today, but it wasn't the man's fault if his mother was buried yesterday and not today. Getting up was an effort, given that it has been a long day for him yesterday. While getting ready, he wondered how to spend the morning and decided that playing games would do good to him. After all, he hadn't done that in years.
Relaxing isn't fun without a companion. It feels so good to see you again. Join me.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah?
And I don't know if I'm in the position to ask this, but why are you wearing black?
Mother died
When?
yesterday.
Marie! Marie!
Yeah. Pwede na ba yan?
Yes. And found an empty spot beside him. Marie had gone early in the morning. She left a note on top of the pillow, which read, "Aunt expects me first thing in the morning. I'm sorry. Enjoy the rest of the day."
Oh, what's new? It's Sunday today.
The man had gone back to bed and savored the smell of Marie had left on the pillow. He stayed there until 10. And when he got up, he just smoked cigarettes and spent the whole time there.
How are you, Mr. Mersot?
I'm doing great.
Are you tired? Great. How old was your mother anyway?
Around about 60.
There was a pile of bills waiting at his desk, and he had to go through them all. Before leaving for lunch, he washed his hands. He enjoys doing this at midday. Then he went back to work. It seems like you're a little late for lunch, Mr. Mersalt.
I had to finish all the work I left a few days ago. But I'm ready for Celestis now.
It's good to see you today, Mersalt. But I'd like to extend my deepest sympathy for your mother. Are you feeling any better?
I'm just hungry.
Oh yes, I'll get you. Is everything alright, Mersalt?
Yeah, I guess. I think it's best if I go home. I'll see you around.
Sure, no worries.
I want to ask your advice about something, Mersot. You know about the world, and I dare say you can help me. And I'll be your pal
Here's
for
how
life.
it goes. There's a girl behind it, as usual. They slept together pretty regular. He was keeping. As a matter of fact, she calls him Tidy Song. That fellow he knocked down is her brother. Well, he found out one day that she was letting him down.
I get your point. So what do I have to do?
Write her a letter, something that would make her feel guilty and eventually come back to me.
If that would please my pal, then I'll surely do it. Read it, please.
That's the stuff. Now we truly are pals.
Hey, wait!
Hey, I'm just gonna buy some meat. Do you wanna join me?
Yes. I'll be ready in a couple of minutes.
You evil dog! You have done nothing good to me!
Where is that sound coming from?
Oh, from Salamano.
Bad dog!
He so attached to his dog to the point that he would bicker with his pet every
You have
day.
done nothing good to me!
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah?
Go
Do you love
away!
me?
Evil dog! Stupid dog!
It doesn't mean anything to me, so I don't think I have that certain feelings for him.
You let me down! Evil, I'll learn you to let me down!
I can hear a familiar voice.
But this
Stay
is
here.
horrible!
No,
this
stay
is
here.
horrible!
Step back, let me handle this.
But I'll call the police!
No, that's the last thing we'll do. I don't even like the police.
Excuse me, sir. Let me handle this.
Your name?
Take the woman out of the pad now!
No! I won't take any orders from someone I do not know and I shouldn't care about!
Yes, and don't you forget that we don't take any nonsense, not from guys like you.
He hit me, that man!
Excuse me, I didn't do anything to that woman.
Excuse me, sir. You have no right to speak as of the moment. And madam, we'll handle everything. We'll meet again.
Toward 3, there was a knock at his door, and Raymond came in. He sat down on the edge of the bed for a minute or two and said nothing. He asked him how it had gone off. He said he had all done quite smoothly at first, as per program. Only then she'd slapped him in the face, and he seen red, and started thrashing her. As for what happened after that, he need not tell him he was there. Well, he was there, telling him that he had only taught the woman a lesson. He agreed and pointed out that whatever the police did, that wouldn't change the fact she'd had her punishment. As for the police, he knew exactly how to handle them, but he'd like to know if he'd expected his to return the blow when the policeman hit him.
I hadn't expected anything like this, you know? I had no use for the police.
That's good to hear from you. With that, I'd like to take the dog off. I'd like to
Let's
take
go
you as
out
my
for a walk.
witness.
As your pal, I wouldn't reject any of your requests.
It's quite simple. You've only got to tell him that the girl had let me down.
Ta-na-na-na. Hello?
Hey, a friend of mine invited me to spend the next Sunday at his place.
I'd be very pleased to join you, but I promised to spend a Sunday with a girl.
Oh, you can bring Marie too. In fact, my friend's wife wouldn't be very pleased to be the only woman in the men of party of men.
Alright, she will really like this news. I'll tell her right away. And I have to go now. My boss is coming anytime soon, and she doesn't like seeing her employees on the line discussing personal matters.
Hold on, I'd like to say something else.
What is it?
It's like this. I've been shadowed all the morning by some Arabs. One of them is the brother of that girl I had the row with. If you see him hanging around the house, when you come back, pass me the word.
Noted.
Are you free for a moment?
If there's something really important to discuss, I'd continue with my work later.
I'd like to open a branch at Paris so as to be able to deal with the big companies without delays. I just wanted to know if you're interested in working there.
Working there? That's far from here.
You're a young man. I'm pretty sure you'd enjoy living in Paris. And of course, you could travel about France for months in the year.
I'll look into it, but there's a big chance of considering it off.
Great. I'll get back to you for your final decision.
Hey, Marisol,
Yeah?
I'd like to ask you something.
What's that?
Will you marry me?
I don't mind. If you like to get married, then we will.
So, I'll take that as a yes. Do you love me?
Your question means nothing, or maybe next to nothing. But I don't feel the same way for you.
So why then marry me?
If that would give you pleasure, we could get married right away.
But marriage is a serious matter.
No? You know how to adjust to my personality. That's why I love you.
But maybe one day, I'll hate you. Hey, I think I've seen that man before.
Marisol, bring Marie somewhere far from here, in a place where that fellow wouldn't see the both of you.
Marisol, I wouldn't leave your side.
Just follow my instructions, you woman.
But as your pal, I have the duty not to leave your side. Let's put it this way. I'll
Behind
bring Wayne
it,
far
as
away from
usual.
you, and I'll come back.
They slept together pretty regular.
Yeah.
Was letting him down.
You've done anything to me, but I came here for a friend. Count the remaining seconds of your life.
Your name, address, occupation, date, and place of birth.
Marisol.
Your address, occupation, date, and place of birth. Have you chosen me to defend you?
No, I hadn't thought about that. I don't know if I need it.
There's something I'd like to ask. Why didn't you care about your mother's death?
Was that necessary?
I've read your records. You have showed signs of insensitivity, and that is one major point that the other party would throw on us. I couldn't help if you don't help yourself.
I haven't kept my feelings to myself. How do you expect me to deal with all of these things?
Why did you fire
person
5
would do.
consecutive shots? Why did you pause between the first and second shot? Why did you fire the third time, even if you saw him on the floor? What pushed you in doing so? Why did you go on firing at the man? How has the man affected you so much that you decided to end his life? I ask you, why?
The man knelt in front of the crucifix, which was pounding his heart for a few moments now. Do you know who this is? That question kept on bothering him in his mind. Of course he knows who that is. He told himself that he believed in God, and that even the worst of sinners could obtain forgiveness of him. But first he must repent and become like a little child with a simple, trustful heart, open to conviction. I pray to God that He may forgive me. All men believe in Him, even those who reject Him. Of this I am absolutely sure. If ever I came to doubt it, my life would lose all meaning. My life has a meaning. It's not just the same as how others see their meaning of life. But my prayers won't work, I guess. I have to get out of this situation all by myself.
Well, how are you, my love? Do you have everything you want?
Oh,
Are
yes.
you okay? Are you alright?
Yes, I have everything I want.
I'm so glad to hear that. You know, soon everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna fall into place, and then we'll get married.
You still have hopes of getting married, huh?
Of course, that is every girl's dream, my love.
I wish I could leave here now. I have no idea how much time passed. There are a lot of conversations I've been through, and none of which seems to help me get out of this situation faster. I was asked why I placed my mother in the home. I actually didn't make this as a big deal, but I wonder why they are all so eager to know the reason why I'm not so close to my mother. I cared for her, but not as much as how others describe the word care. They can't understand the reason why I left my mother. I didn't have enough money to take care of her. I have a job that requires me almost a whole day at work. And when I get home, I don't want to stress myself seeing my mother in a condition not so pleasing to my eyes.
The following summer, Mersault's trial begins. Mersault is surprised to find the courtroom packed with people. The media has given his case a great deal of publicity because the summer is a slow season for news, but Mersault doesn't want to remember of how
I refuse to see the chaplain. I have nothing to say to him. I have nothing to say to everyone. I don't feel like talking. The only thing that interests me is my freedom.
Then everyone's voices started to come across his mind.
We'll soon be married, Mersault.
You don't deserve to be there, my pal. I'll get you out of here. Why have you done that, Mersault?
Why, son?
Mersault
Once
doesn't
in
like
my
the
life
fact
have
that
I
the
known
guillotine
you
forces them on death to hope that the his mother's voice is the only thing that retains. The first attempt fails, the execution will be painful, and he doesn't want to experience more pain. Hence, the prisoner is forced into dealing with moral strength with the execution process by hoping for its success. He further objects to the fact that the guillotine is mounted on the ground, not on the scaffold.
I was asked by the man who didn't want to see him. He doesn't get my point that God wouldn't help me get out of this situation. But I don't want to be labeled as Antichrist. As if the blind rage had washed me clean, rid me of hope. For the first time in that night, alive with signs and stars, I opened myself to the benign indifference of the world. Finding it so much like there's a large crowd so like a brother. The day of my execution, happy, and that they greet me with house execution. For everything to be consummated.